everyone! Today we have an exciting video. Watch until the end for a special announcement. Hey everyone! Today we have an amazing guest with us. This is Michael Shanahan. Michael is currently working on his PhD in anxiety in ACC. Michael is working with the Australian research team to learn more about the disorders of the corpus callosum. Hi Michael, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me on your podcast. It's awesome.
No problem. Can you tell me about the research you're doing?
I'm doing research on people with ACC who have anxiety. So I've talked to hundreds of people with ACC, and they often will tell me the problems that they have. And they'll often tell me that they have issues with anxiety, and they've gone to the doctor, and the doctor's told them to do some therapy or take some medication, and they'll tell me that it's not working for them. So this is a common problem that we see in the community, and I want to know why. So anxiety is sort of like the feeling you can imagine having if you were being chased by a lion, except nothing's happening to you, nothing bad is happening to you. So it's really hard to do the things that you want to do in life when you feel stressed and worried and fearful and panicking all the time. So if treatments aren't really working for us, why is that? So my question is, what are we talking about when we're talking about anxiety in ACC? What do people experience? So I'm interviewing people and getting them to tell me what's happening to them so that we have an understanding of what anxiety is in ACC. And then from that, we can look at how do we solve that problem? How do we look at treatments that work?
Very interesting. Are you the only researcher with ACC?
So there is another person in Australia that I know of with ACC who's doing their PhD, and they're doing their PhD on basically if the Australian government is treating people with disabilities well or not. That's probably, I've probably butchered the topic a bit, but that's basically it. So she's not doing her PhD on ACC, but she is doing something similar in the disability area. I'm also working with a PhD student who's a mum. She's a mum of a person with ACC, and she has a little panel of people with ACC who advise her on how to do her study on people with ACC. So there is a few people who maybe aren't doing a PhD, but they're involved in research in different ways.
That's very cool. What are some cool things you've learned while studying ACC?
I've found out that we have so much in common. So all of the people that I've interviewed are so different. They could be in their 60s, or they could be in their 20s. They could have children of their own. They work in different industries. They live in different states, but they have the same want for being accepted for who they are. They've had all these challenges trying to connect with people, and many of them have been bullied for being different. So being a part of the ACC community has been really important. So even though everyone's different, we all want the same things. And I keep finding people say in different ways the same thing over and over again about how their lives have gone and what they want out of their lives.
That's really cool. How do you plan to use your research to impact the ACC community?
Well, I first want to publish my research when I'm finished with it. And I want people in the ACC community to know that I've listened to them. They've told me their problems. The community has said this is an issue that we want researched, and I want them to feel like they've been heard. I want to do more research into once we have this understanding of how anxiety sort of works in ACC, how do we solve the problem? And I want to get that information out to the community so they know what we found.
That's really cool. Age was the most challenging for you? Any advice on how to handle that age now that you're older and you can look back?
When I was a teenager, I found that the hardest age. And I found out about my ACC when I was 19. So I didn't know why I was having a hard time uh, for all of my teen years. Uh, I felt different from the other kids, more or less my whole life. But I found it really hard going through the teen years, going through adolescence, and everyone was growing up and changing a lot. And I was struggling to keep up. And Dr. Lynn Paul talks a lot about this at the NODCC conferences and other conferences, where you kind of feel a little bit like the other kids when you're young, but then struggle to keep up when you're a teenager. So I fit into that category of people, of people that were doing relatively okay, and then things got hard when I was a teenager. So to prepare for that, if that's sort of something that any parents sort of resonate with their children, I I think sometimes parents will have kids that they don't see too many issues to address, so they sort of think that they're going to be okay when they're a teenager, and they might. And I don't want to scare anybody, but um, helping teenagers get ready for adulthood is so important and so kind of like obvious. But what's not obvious is helping young children transition into the teen years, so that they can then transition into becoming an adult. So getting kids to understand their emotions and what to do about them, and become what we could call emotionally intelligent, um, know what they're feeling and know what to do with those emotions. I think that's really important for young kids before they become a teenager, so they have that skill.
Very interesting. I'll keep that in mind. Can you share something encouraging for expectant and newborn parents?
I think that parents have a little bit in common with people with ACC. Everyone with ACC is very different from each other, but they all want the same things. They all want to belong and to feel understood. All of the parents are different people, but I hear from new parents, not every day, but multiple times a week, and they all talk about how their family and their doctors don't understand what they're going through, and they feel alone and isolated and unsupported, but they can get the support from the ACC community. The parents know what they've been through. Us people with ACC can offer advice, and you can get lots of support from the community itself, so that you're not alone and that you do have people around you that understand you.
That's great advice. Do you have a message for your fellow ACCers?
I think my message for ACCs is that they have a voice. Um, Sometimes it feels like people don't understand you, or that you want to say things, but people can take you the wrong way, or uh, um, people don't understand what you're trying to say, but the ACC community wants to hear from its people with ACC, and they understand you. The ACC community understands you, and they want to hear from you. They want advice. They want to hear what works for you. Parents want advice and want to hear what your life's been like and what works for you as well. And the community can work together to get that message to people outside of our community, to broadcast our message of what it's like to be us, what it's like to be different. And that's why, this podcast is so important, because you've given me a voice that you're broadcasting out to the internet.
Thanks. Thank you for joining us and sharing your research. Hopefully my viewers have learned something new today. Thanks for being an awesome advocate for our community. I'm excited to continue following your research and learning more from you.
Yeah,
Bye!
thank you for having me on.
Thanks for watching till the end of the video. Now for a special announcement. We've launched merch! Check out the description below for a link to my new store. And as always, please make sure to like and subscribe. Bye!